Good evening and welcome to the 2020 NCAA Division II Men's Basketball Selection Show. I'm Will Haskett. Tonight we are set to reveal the 64 teams that will be competing in this year's tournament. And once again, every team is hoping to make that trip to Evansville for the Elite Eight, which tips off on March the 26th. The semifinals are 2 days later, and this year the national championship is on April the 5th in Atlanta in conjunction with the Division I Men's Final Four. Northwest Missouri State capped off the perfect season with the title a season ago, and will they make it back to defend the crown? Or is another team set to become champs again, or perhaps even for the first time? It all starts with hearing your name called tonight. So let's get you to the star of the show. That would be the bracket, where 24 automatic qualifiers and 40 at-large bids are set to be unveiled. And we start tonight with the Atlantic region, which features split hosting duties here this year. Half of the region to be played at top seed Indiana of Pennsylvania. Back-to-back appearances for the two-time national runner-ups who get it done with defense. The team ranks in the top 10 in the country in points allowed while holding opponents below 40% shooting, one of the few teams in the country to do so. And they will open with 1967 national champion Winston-Salem State. The 4 seed belongs to Shippensburg, back in the tournament for the 5th time, battling Fairmont State national runners-up just 2 seasons ago. The Falcons roll into their 11th NCAA tournament thanks in large part to freshman star Dale Bonner. The conference freshman of the year, he leads the team in scoring, rebounding, assists, and steals, top 10 in the country in the latter. The second half of this region will be hosted by the 2 seed. That belongs to West Liberty. And it wouldn't be a tournament without the high-scoring Hilltoppers, who make their 11th straight tournament and enter again as the nation's top-scoring team. At right around 104 points per game, the little things get overlooked, however. This is a top 10 rebounding team, as well as top 10 in the country in turnover margin. Luke Dyer runs the show. He leads the country in assist-to-turnover ratio at nearly 6 on the year. The Hilltoppers welcome Virginia State, fresh off a season where the program celebrated its 2,000th win. Charleston stays in state as the 3 seed, battling Mercyhurst in the 4th matchup of this region. All right, we transition now to the Central region, where we find the reigning champs still on top of this region for selection purposes, at least right now, Northwest Missouri State. The championship may run through the Bearcats again this season. The reigning national champs now looking for title number 3 in the last 4 years. Trevor Hudgens was the tournament's most outstanding player a year ago and is back again this year. Second on the team in scoring at nearly 20 per, and the MIAA Player of the Year. But it's junior Ryan Hawkins who has really stepped it up. A defensive stopper in years past, he's now averaging nearly 23 a game, including multiple 40-point efforts this season. A nervous wait now ends for a first-time participant as we welcome Oklahoma Baptist to the tournament to take on the champs. Northern State slides into the 4th spot here. Back-to-back trips for the first time in over a decade, where they will battle 5 seed Missouri Southern State. The 2 seed in the Central is Southern Nazarene. The streak continues with now the program's 3rd straight NCAA tournament berth. The Storm racked up a ton of postseason awards in the GAC that included senior guard Jonathan Dunn taking home the top conference honor for the 2nd time in his career as Player of the Year. It comes after a sensational senior season, averaging a conference-best 26.1 points per game on nearly 53% shooting from the floor and 47% from deep. They will face off with GAC champion Henderson State in the first round. Final matchup sees Southeastern Oklahoma State as the 3 seed. The bid marks the first time in program history with back-to-back tournament appearances. Adam Dworsky leads the offense at over 8 assists per game, ranked as one of the best distributors in the nation, and he will guide the offense against another first-time participant. Congratulations to the Hillcats of Rogers State, who are gathered right now to watch the show, and we are happy to add to the party tonight. The East region is next as we transition. 3rd region to unveil. Top overall seed and hosting duties belong to Bridgeport. 23rd NCAA appearance for one of the most successful programs out east. This team causes chaos on the defensive end with more steals than any other team in the country. That leads to the best turnover margin in the nation as well. And after missing the tournament a season ago, what a way to return with a top seed in the region. They open with Damon, which makes back-to-back tournament trips. The 4 seed belongs to St. Anselm, which extended its own conference record on Saturday, claiming its 9th NE10 conference postseason title with a 65-63 victory in overtime against New Haven. And that earns them a date with Lemoyne in the opening round. 2 seed belongs to St. Thomas Aquinas. After making the tournament for the first time in 2016, the program hasn't missed since and has an incredible balance of youth in its 2020 squad. 4 players average in double figures, and 3 of them are just sophomores, including the team's leading scorer, Osbel Caraballo. Dominican makes consecutive tournaments for the first time ever, the 7 seed here against St. Thomas Aquinas. Jefferson rides high with a 3 seed in the East, 37th appearance for a program that won it all way back in 1970, and what better way to celebrate the 50th anniversary of that win with a big tournament run here in 2020. This team can really shoot it top 20 in the nation in field goal percentage at just under 50%. They're also strong from deep and at the free throw line, and that shooting touch will be tested in the first round by Stonehill, earning a trip back to the tournament for the first time since 2016. All right, moving on to one of the most competitive regions every year in the tournament, that would be the Midwest, and a huge year is rewarded for the top seed in hosting duties, UIndy. The Greyhounds back in the tournament for the first time since 2016, but they needed an at-large after a cold shooting night cost them in the GLVC semifinals. UIndy has a balanced offense run by Jimmy King, who ranks in the top 10 of the nation in assists. King is also one of 5 players averaging in double figures this year, with Trevor Lakes the top scorer on this team at nearly 16 a game. The Greyhounds start with Walsh, which punched its ticket for a second consecutive season. 4th-seeded Michigan Tech returns to the tournament for the first time since 2015 to battle the Swan Song Story in Bellarmine. A nervous wait for the 2011 national champs who earn an at-large after a loss in the GLVC quarterfinals. It is the 12th straight appearance and now the 21st and final for the Knights, who begin the transition to Division I coming up next season. The 2 seed is Truman, and the Bulldogs ride high into the tournament off a thrilling 1-point victory in the GLVC championship. Broderick Thomas hit the go-ahead 3-pointer late in the game and finished with a team-high 25 points in the effort. Already a postseason champion this season, Truman now looks for its deepest NCAA tournament run in its 9th appearance. And that run starts against Ferris State. The 2018 national champs are back and now tournament bound for the 5th time in the last 6 years. The Bulldogs enter fresh off their 16th GLIAC championship this season and 3rd in the last 4 years. The Bulldogs won not only the GLIAC North Division title, but also the league's outright championship. The 3 seed belongs to the other team on the wrong end of that close battle with Truman we mentioned. That would be Missouri St. Louis. Welcome back to the tournament to the Tritons, who return for the first time since 1988 after setting a program record this season, 4 victories. They try and add to the win total against Southern Indiana, which would love to get back to Evansville for some home cooking at the Elite Eight, just as they did last season. All right, we are halfway home to a full bracket of 64 teams. We'll get right back at it right after this quick break.
Big shots. Big dunks. This trophy is not given. It must be earned. The 2020 NCAA Division II men's basketball quarterfinals and semifinals. March 26th and 28th at the Ford Center in Evansville, Indiana.
And that'll do it!
Visit ncaa.com/tickets to get your tickets today.
Welcome back to the 2020 Division II Men's Basketball Selection Show. We have unveiled half of the bracket. We now shift our attention to the remaining 4 regions and not delay the drama any longer. We get right back into the bracket and unveil the South region with a number of powerhouse programs back in the field this year, including the host for this region. That would be Florida Southern, the 2015 national champs, returning for the 3rd straight year. That's a similar streak to the last time the Mocs cut down the nets. Jalen Hinton's size has been a huge difference maker this season, leading the nation in blocks for the country's best blocking team. He also is one of 3 players averaging over 6 rebounds per game, a top 10 rebounding team in the country. Miles will be the foe in the opener. Nobody has held opponents to less points this season. They feature the top scoring defense in the country. Alabama Huntsville makes its 12th NCAA tournament appearance as the 4 seed, and I'm not sure how thrilled they'll be with the opponent because you can start partying right now. Lee, the Flames, make the tournament for the first time and get an immediate rematch with the team that bounced them from the Gulf South tournament. Nova Southeastern will bring the offense as the 2 seed. Jim Crutchfield's offense continues to build, ranking only behind his former school, West Liberty, in terms of points scored this season. No team in the country is shooting it better, and after taking the school to its first ever tournament last year and making the Elite Eight, another deep run may be expected here. Embry-Riddle has the challenge of trying to slow down that team in the first round. Valdosta State nabs the 3 seed. A 4th straight tournament berth extends the program record streak for NCAA appearances. The Blazers racked up Gulf South Conference honors, headlined by Coach of the Year Mike Helfer, who earned the honor for the 4th time in his career. He also passed the 300-win mark for his career earlier this season, the 2nd most in program history. And he will look to add to that win total against another team making its tournament debut in this region. Congratulations to Palm Beach Atlantic. Your season continues. All right, we head to the Southeast now. Not a real surprise here that the top seed and hosting duties belong to Lincoln Memorial. After missing out on the tournament for the first time in 9 years last season, this program returns with a championship caliber record. The 2nd best scoring margin in the country comes by virtue of a top 5 shooting offense combined with the best shooting defense in the nation. Opponents are barely scratching 37% against this team, and you know what the old saying goes about defense winning championships. Belmont Abbey returns to the tournament for the first time in 7 years here as the 8th seed. Augusta University earns the 4 seed after losing in the quarters of a wild Peach Belt tournament won by Lander, which makes this a fun conference showdown in the opener. Queens gets the honor of the 2 seed. The Royals had 4 players earn all SAC awards this postseason, including a worthy first-team selection for Daniel Carr. The senior leads the team in both scoring and steals, and he tries to keep his season alive against Southern Wesleyan, which punched its ticket earlier today with a Conference Carolinas championship. Final matchup starts with UNC Pembroke as the 3 seed. The Braves are back for the 4th straight season, requiring an at-large berth after a loss in the Peach Belt tournament. It was just the 2nd time the team lost a PBC game in the last 4 seasons. They will literally try to rebound in the NCAA tournament. They rank in the top 10 in the country this season in rebounding margin. They will battle the boards in the first round against Catawba, rounding out the Southeast. 2 to go as we shift to the South Central, and the top seed and the host of this region is West Texas A&M. 4 straight tournament appearances for the first time in program history for the Buffs, and the three-point line may hold the key to the team's tournament run with an offense that ranks in the top 10 in three-pointers per game and a defense that entered the weekend 2nd in the nation, defending the arc. A stout opponent will test the Buffs in the opening round with RMAC champion Colorado Mesa, the 8th seed here in this region. Angelo State's 8th tournament appearance comes with a first-round game against Texas A&M Kingsville, the 4-5 matchup. A great season for St. Edwards continues with a 2 seed, back-to-back appearances for the first time since 2008 for the Hilltoppers. Head coach Andre Cook has been able to lean on a couple of incredible senior guards. Ashton Spears became the 29th player to eclipse 1,000 career points at the school. He did so in less than 2 complete seasons and earned All-LSC first team and all defensive team honors this season. He ranked 5th in the nation in steals, and fellow senior August Haas ranks 4th nationally in assists, also an all-conference first team selection. Dallas Baptist makes it 3 straight tournament appearances with the berth here as the 7 seed. Dixie State is the 3 seed. A disciplined approach get this program back to the tournament after missing out a season ago. The best team in the RMAC in field goal defense and taking care of the basketball has always been a priority, leading the conference in rebounding margin, assists, and assist-to-turnover ratio. That will be tested against Colorado Mines, which earns its 10th berth in the last 11 seasons. All right, finally tonight, let's head out west, where the top seed and hosting duties in the West belong to UC San Diego. 5 straight tournament appearances now for the Tritons, whose seniors just won the CCAA all 4 years of their career. That senior class has had some help this year as well, with Tyrell Roberts named MVP of both the league and the conference tournament. He erupted for a conference tournament record 45 points just a few days ago in the conference tournament semifinals. The Tritons open with Western Washington, GNAC tournament champions. They have 6 players averaging 8 or more points per game this season. Chico State makes a big return to the tournament. The Wildcats improved from 9-14 last season to 23-7 this year, which marks the greatest year-to-year improvement in wins in the history of the program. They also are ready for life away from home with road wins this season at UC San Diego and Seattle Pacific. And that may come in handy if the Wildcats get past Seattle Pacific coming up in the opening round. Azusa Pacific is your 2 seed here, back in the tournament for the 4th time. A big front line will be a force in the tournament. The team ranks in the top 10 in the country in blocks and rebounding margin, thanks in large part to the paintwork of Selim Mawagbi, averaging a double-double at 16 and 10 a game. He also has over 3 blocks per game, 2nd best in the country, and converts at a 71% clip from the floor, which is the best of any player nationwide. He will be a load to handle for Cal State San Bernardino, the 7 seed and the first round opponent. Final matchup out west sees 2010 national champion Cal Poly Pomona as the 3 seed battling Point Loma, which rode a hot place a year ago all the way to a national runner-up finish in only its second tournament appearance. All right, there you have it. All 64 teams competing for a shot at a national championship. Those 8 regional sites tip off this coming weekend, and the winners of all sites head to Evansville on March 26th and 28th for the Elite 8 and national semifinals. After a little break to build the excitement, the championship will be contested at State Farm Arena on April the 5th in Atlanta in conjunction with the Division I Men's Final Four. You can be there or watch the final on CBS. And make sure you keep up with all the scores and news from the tournament right here on NCAA.com. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'm Will Haskett. Make sure you enjoy the games. Congratulations to all the student athletes competing in this year's championship.
Big shots. Big dunks. This trophy is not given. It must be earned. The 2020 NCAA Division II Men's Basketball Quarterfinals and Semifinals. March 26th and 28th at the Ford Center in Evansville, Indiana.
And that'll do it!
Visit ncaa.com/tickets to get your tickets today.